After I got out of the Navy, I started working at Paramount Studios in wardrobe department. But before that, I graduated from high school in 1948, and then I got my draft notice for the Army, so I joined the Navy in 1949. And after I got out of boot camp, which this picture shows, just out of boot camp, that's my picture when I came home, my first leave. I had gone to welder school in the Navy, just regular welding, and then I was assigned to the USS Jason, and I was sent over to Japan, and we worked in Korea. And I was doing shipboard welding, not anything below. And then they decided that they needed underwater hard hat divers to repair the ships that had been damaged there during the Korean War to get them back and up to the dry docks in Yokosuka. So then they sent me back to San Diego, and I went to a big underwater hard hat diver school. And I wore that, and then I wore that great big hard hat diving outfit, which weighed about 300 pounds. And the first time I put that outfit on, I said, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this? So then my ship had, Jason then had sailed back to San Diego again. So then I caught it there in San Diego, and I went back to Japan with our ship. And then we used to go back and forth to Korea, as I said, and repair ships. But I used to underwater welding. So they would lower us over the side, two of us on a platform. They would lower us over the side, and then they would lower great big steel planks down with the crane, and we would kind of spot those on just as much as we could to get them repaired, just enough to get them up the dry dock there in Yokosuka, Japan. And one little thing, the Japanese during World War II, they could repair their ships and get them back into service again faster than we could or the Germans could. They went to just put them together and got them back into service again quicker than they could. So then I got out of the Navy in 1953 after the Korean War, and then I was going to go back to college in the fall, but I had got supposedly a summer job at Paramount Studios in Rent Stocks department as a stock clerk. And I was going to, and that was in June, and then they offered me a position and a raise, so then I just stayed right on, and I became a men's costumer in the studios. And I retired in 1991, and I specialized doing military films mainly, but I did a lot of other films, of course. A lot of other films, but I did mostly military films. For example, Bridge to Tokori, Mr. Roberts, Strategic Air Command, Operation Petticoat, to name a few. I met my wife in 1960, January 24th, and we got married August 4th, 1960. And then I retired in 1981, and we moved down to Sun City in July of 1993. Then I moved here in March of 2013.
Tell us how you met your wife.
I met her ice skating at the ice skating rink on a Sunday morning. They have the couples only, and I asked her to skate with me, and we skated. And I said, would you like to go out to lunch? Oh, I don't think so. Maybe if you're here next week, I'll see you then. So, okay, well, I'll see you next week. And then she came back to me, and about 15 minutes later, she said, does lunch still stand for today? I said, well, sure. So we went out to lunch at the Tam O'Shanter there in Glendale, and I got her phone number, and then I called her during the week, and we started dating, and we just took her right from there. And I had just broken up with a girl, and she was engaged at the time to somebody else. So she broke up with him, and we just started going together, and then we got married August 4th, 1960.